Divya Naveenan, and thank you so much for attending the sessions, and thank you, Anna, for giving me this opportunity to talk about wireless systems and the soft skills that is required. Um, so let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. Um, I hope I hope you can see my screen and yeah, I think we should be good to go. All right. I'll just wait for, I guess, like a couple of minutes. Um, so anyway, today we will be talking about wireless systems and the soft skills required. So just a little bit about myself. I am an electrical engineer with a master's degree and specialized in wireless communications. And RF. And I have about 7 years of experience. And I have some lessons learned and things I did that worked out very well. So I'm here to share my point of view for career guidance or for the targeted audience who are willing to switch to a wireless systems field or talk or somebody who is looking to um, start their careers in wireless systems. So I will be going over. I'm sorry about that. So I will be going over the following concepts. Like why did I pick this topic? Like why talk about this? Understanding basic layouts of the wireless systems job, like on a very high level from a hardware perspective. What are the things that you need to think about when you are in school, still studying? And what are the job choices that you have that you can choose based on your interests and the kind of person you are? And let's go over some tough questions that nobody asked, but it's something that you ask yourself if you want to make the right career choice in wireless. And of course, the soft skills that you require in a workplace. Um, so let's talk about why did I choose this uh, topic, right? So there are plenty of career advice and guidance that are available out there. You have Google, you have forums, you have blogs, you have LinkedIn. But is it possible to know all options? I would still say no. The reason is because um, since we don't know what is out there, we do not ask the right questions and we do not get connected to the right people. So I'm here to talk about a high level approach that you can have to understand what is there in wireless systems, like what is wireless systems, what are the kind of jobs you have, and how you can guide yourself to understand what is the correct career path. The next we get into is um, understanding the basic layout of um, the wireless systems hardware jobs in a very high level. Um, so there from a very bottom level up, you have silicon, you have the chipsets as we call in the wireless world or in electrical engineering world. You have the Wi-Fi chipsets, the Bluetooth chipset, UP chipsets, and LoRa chipsets. So there's a whole lot of engineering and algorithm development required to bring up the chipset and integrate it into a product. So you can either choose to work in a chipset company where you work on those chipset modules, or you get to work in a product level company where there are companies like Amazon, Google, Apple. They create a lot of hardware products, um, and they use the wireless chipsets from companies like Qualcomm, Broadcom, Thailand, MediaTek, just to name a few. Each of this, however, has a lot of subdivisions that the work is divided into. The first is the architecture. So the architecture is exactly how it sounds. It's about building a product, and you decide on the wireless budget, not just in terms of finances, but also in terms of electrical engineering, like what voltage goes into your supply, how much current you need, or what is the performance requirement for the product, like what kind of use case would the product mean? Is it going to be used in the cellular world? Is it going to be used in home, like IoT devices inside home? So you get to plan out the entire architecture of a product. And then comes the design. So design involves designing the actual hardware. That involves a lot of PCB level design, a lot of module level design, and then comes the RF validation. So whatever has been designed, you need to validate to make sure that it is correct and the device is performing as required. And then comes the manufacturing and the production lines. These are in factories. Basically, these are the mass production factory lines, as they call it, where all these units are now produced in a volume of like thousands and millions. So sometimes things go wrong in the factory lines, and every minute in a factory is a lot of money. So that's a very high pressure job, and you have to be on your toes all the time. And then comes the customer interface. So this is like when if you're a chipset vendor and your chipset has been used in a product, and the product company comes and tells you that, hey, I see this issue in your chipset. Let's see how to resolve it. Or you're in a product company and you're a customer saying your product doesn't work as required. So how can I get it to work? So that is usually called as a field application engineering and a customer interface. And for each of these hardware level jobs, you also need the software support for it. So the software support could be in device level, in the application level, in automating the test scenarios, or even working with the algorithms in the protocol level. So you can pick based on where your interest lies, either in the hardware side or the software side of the job. And just to give a little more insight is when you look for a job profile, you would typically uh, look for either a radio frequency engineer or RF engineer or electrical engineer or a product design. Design involves, it's a part of the architecture and the design stage, where the product designer would come up with what kind of materials to be used in the product, where the screws goes to like tighten components in the product, and likewise. Um, so this is the high level of the job search that you have in the wireless field. So when if you're looking for jobs in the field in many job profiles, these were the keywords that you would use to like look for it. So let me start from what to watch out for when you are in school. Now, I'm assuming that the folks who would be interested in listening to this session are folks who um, are in your electrical engineers or computer science engineers. So, a piece of advice for all of you here is every subject has like a difficult project, and you have to analyze your natural instincts there. There might be a topic that is hard, but do you still want to learn it? Do you have the drive to go ahead and solve it, and do you enjoy doing that? These are the questions that you need to answer yourself in order to look for the correct career opportunities and to see whether you have the qualifications required and practically is it a good suitable career for you. And the soft skills that are required here is to be curious. Now, what does this mean? It means go and talk to your professor and ask your professor where exactly does this particular algorithm that I learned in theory today is being applied in the real world. Can you give me an example of a product or a company that's using this algorithm? And talk to your career guidance and say and look for what kind of careers are out there for the kind of subjects you've taken. But if you have a favorite subject, I think before you venture out to search for a job opportunity there, you need to understand whether you have the right qualifications for it. For example, you might be very interested in signal processing, but with just a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, can you get a job? The answer is there is a slim chance. You need a PhD to do a real quality level of work for in DSP. You will definitely get a job even with like master's degree, but would you be happy with that kind of job, or do you want to get into more research kind of jobs in signal processing, which requires an advanced degree? So you need to be curious and gather information at this stage when you're still in school. So be curious and asking a lot of questions is the soft skills that you will need to have. The next comes the job choices. So it's very important job description completely. Many folks, when you are trying to graduate out, and especially during this COVID-19, I completely understand where you just want to skim through the job description and you're happy with like a job. But once you're a little more settled in your career or when you're making an important career choice, it's very important to read through the job description completely. For example, you might see a job profile of RF engineer. Now, what does that RF engineer do? Does he design? Is it an architect job, or is it a test job, or a validation job, or is it a production job? So you need to read through the job descriptions very clearly. And once you have the job description, I think like most of you know, it's a very good idea to talk about it to somebody who's already doing the job. Like talk to somebody on LinkedIn, talk to one of your seniors in college, and ask very open questions. And consider yourself and how motivated you are, because some jobs really require you to be on foot, like not literally, but be on call like 24/7. Like you do not have time to breathe, and there are jobs like that out there. So, do you want such a job, or you a person who wants a little laid back? You want to have like a good work-life balance? How motivated you are? You need to understand what the job requires and what kind of a person you are. Because even if you want to go for your dream job, but if you don't have the mental drive to do that job, it pulls you back. And it's very important for you to answer the question for yourself is it just a job or is it the job? So is it just a job, any job in that you want, or is it a specific job that you have in mind that I want to do, design, or I want to validate, or I want to do industrial design? You need to ask the right questions so that you can talk to the right people. And the soft skills here is don't be afraid to talk and ask. So a lot of time, even when you get interviews, when the hiring manager is talking to you, in the end they ask you, "Do you have any questions for me?" Don't be afraid to ask how a typical work day is for them in terms of their job, and you will get a sense of how happy or satisfied they are with their job, and it probably give you a little more insight and detail on how exactly the job is run, which will give you more perspective on whether you're more suited for the job if this is something that you would like. So don't be afraid to ask what exactly the job description. Like I read it online, I saw it in the requirement page, but I'd still like to know more about it. These are very helpful questions. And I think the next is an important part where you ask a question that nobody asks. So when you are in any field, there is an innovation part to the field and there's a validation part to the field. Now, some people like the validation part of the field where the innovation is already done and you validate. Now, when you're in your validation field, that doesn't mean that you are not innovating. You're still innovating how to validate the product in a more efficient way, how to define the validation test plan for your product. But innovation is about how to design a product, like how to come up with a brand new architecture. Now, a lot of this design and architect part sounds very exciting, but it requires a completely different level of job skill set. It's something that can be acquired from experience where you have an advanced degree for it. So it's very important for you to understand what you want and whether you have the qualification or if you want to get there, how do you get there? And be honest with yourself. There's nothing wrong in settling for something that you like to do and might not be a very high profile job. Because during my 7 years of experience at least, I have met quite a lot of women, men. Some of them are extremely driven. They want to get to the top. They want to become like VPs or CEOs, and some of them they want to be engineers and they want to become principal engineers. And some of them they're happy with like as long as they have a career path to advance forward. Become senior engineers, contribute, specialize in one field, and have a quiet time in the lab, do their work, and that's okay. As long as you know that at some point you will have an advancement and it's not like a dead end growing. Having said that, there is constant learning in the wireless world because we are now discovering digging through protocols to improve our efficiency, and we are digging through the spectrum to look for more bandwidth, and we are coming up with new space. We are at a point where we have exhausted the technologies that were invented in like the late 90s or the early 2000s, and we are in a place where we want more. So if you want to join the wireless system field, this is the time. There are new technologies coming up. There's innovation happening every single day. So it's quite exciting out there. And the last one is what you are good at might not be what you want to be. It's a tough one. For example, if you are good at validation, but if you want to get into the design side, you might like designing, you might be in the design side of the product, but you might not be very good at it. Like you might need more help, or might, you might not be that hands on. But let's say you're good at validation, you're super good at what you do, and you have a good career there. It's a tough choice whether you want to like switch career paths or you want to be stable and be where you are. That's a choice you have to make. But the reason I brought this out that if you're in a crossroads where you're feeling that I like the other job, I'm not happy with what I have, but maybe I'm good at what I do. So, it's okay to be in such a spot. And I think people who are roughly in their 7 to 10 years experience are in that spot. You have to make a tough choice there whether you want to take the leap of faith or you want to excel in what you do. But those are the questions you need to ask yourself to decide what makes you happy and which is more practical and feasible. Um, the last set of instructions or last set of uh, conversation that I have is software at workplace. So I think every one of you are doing so well in your respective workplaces and areas. So this is probably something that might be mundane, but to just emphasize and complete the discussion of soft skills and wireless tied up together is, like I mentioned, there are so many different fields, and while being hired, you might come into one department, but it's always good to be curious about what the other departments do. So that you can weigh your best options to see where you best fit. And yes, a lot can happen over coffee. So typically, I know people are extremely busy, but try to get like 5, 10 minutes at a time, talk to folks from other groups, departments, try to understand what they do, and build relationships because that will help you not just have like a good relationship with a lot of people, but also enhance your cross-functional skills, and also you will be aware of what's out there. And in the wireless world or in any of the product world, there is something called as a war room. I think a lot of you are familiar with it. It's basically when an issue gets highlighted and all the top people are in the room and you do not want to be in that room. But if you end up being there, want it to be nice yet aggressive because it's very easy to get carried away under pressure. It's very easy to get perturbed, but I think it's important to remain calm and still aggressive. And how can you do that, right? Like you make your presence known purely by data. Now, wireless world is completely data-driven world. Every sentence that you speak has to be quantified. When you say one product performs better than the other, you have to put numbers on them. It performs better in range, it performs better in technology, it performs better in um, because the users, the customer has just things easier, they understand it better. Everything is data driven. So when you are in the wireless world, everything needs to have you need to identify. Now, to conclude my speech, to conclude my presentation, I went over what are the high-level jobs that wireless systems has, and what are the kind of jobs you can look for. How important is it to understand where your motivation lies, and how important is it to talk to a lot of people, be curious, and once you are in the workplace, how you can maintain cross-functional relationships and advance in your career or change groups if you need to. I think the key here I'm trying to say is know your path. Wireless systems is a very exciting place to be in, like I said, because there's new invention happening every single day. With the given COVID-19 situation, I think people have learned to appreciate the wireless technology much more. And given how the world is going to go forward in future, it's going to have a very big part to play. And I think it's a great career to have. Where there will be constant learning and constant contribution. So I hope you liked my talk, and if you have any questions, please feel free to um, ping me or connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'll be responsive, and I can help you in any way I can. So good to talk to all of you, and hope you have a nice day. Bye bye.